Welcome back to episode 17 of Aftermath. Probably, hopefully. Where we left off last time, the group had some interesting revelations. Jack sold his house, and it will be joining the group shortly, from where they are currently drinking their sorrows away in the tavern for half price. It's about, I think it's about like 12:30, and you're currently awaiting 1 o'clock, because apparently stuff happens at 1 o'clock. We're going to pretty much jump right back on into it, because I don't think there's anything else really to say. So, Jack, you, after last session, which you missed unfortunately, you sold your house, or
For half price?
not for half price, because then you'd be making a loss, because houses aren't usually sold for double. In fact, he's making a loss anyway, because that's how houses work. And, well, yeah, you quite often make a loss in a house.
Just because of the gun oil on the table.
It was all of Gav's fault.
Yeah, I cleaned that.
So,
Good enough, apparently.
Hex, you can go ahead and add 3,000 gold to your inventory.
Well,
Nice.
Because you lost something, you only have like
Good.
1k.
I'm gonna add that.
And I assume you're going to...
Add that in platinum.
Yeah, platinum. There is a small currency exchange, like bank place here.
Yeah.
Now, I assume you're going to find the rest of the group that you're planning to set out with?
Yep.
In the bar, getting drunk.
Yeah.
So, as you will wait
Well, that's kind of what you do on Tuesdays. Yeah.
for Thursdays.
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 It is.
Or
There are-
Fridays.
The bar is far busier than usual. I should have my list up, but I'm professional and don't. Where's my list?
Hey.
Abulzia Alebrand is the dwarven bard who is currently up there with their flute, playing away. On stage, on the sort of half stage, the door still sort of messed up after these guys, and there have been a few questions thrown around. Unhappy looks thrown in the newcomers' directions after they buggered up the bar's door. But other than that, it's midday and you're in a tavern drinking heavily.
Yep.
So,
Markili
what are you
is
guys doing?
not. Markili is
Sauriv
still
definitely is. He has just finished his first bottle of whiskey and is moving on to the second.
Markili is drinking some cider and is just kind of looking at Sauriv, kind of worried, but at the same time, not really doing anything to stop him.
He also looks quite pissed off, so yeah.
That's gonna walk over and be like, "What's up?"
Oh, hey Jack.
Hello.
Hey,
How's-
Hey man, how you doing?
Yeah, pretty good.
How was the foreclosure?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
That's
Pretty good. I mean, yeah. Got
did
money.
you manage to get a decent return on your property?
You know, okay, not great, not terrible, but
Well, sorry to have to make you leave a place that you consider to be a home, unless you don't consider this place to be a home.
yeah, it's a home, but you're not completely forcing me to, so it's my own choice.
Jack,
Huh? Yeah.
buddy, give it
You.
to me straight. Whatever nonsense happens here on Thursdays, is it worth waiting around for?
Half price.
Other than the half price bullshit.
The thing that I have just messaged you.
Preparation.
To be fair, if you'd left that about 5 minutes, we'd been fine.
I mean, half price, portal, and nothing more special than that, really.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, like 14 steps back for a second.
Portal?
28 if you're me, because I'm small.
Portal?
Yeah.
To where?
I
Test
know
chambers? I don't know.
I mean, dancing, general partying as well.
How involved is a druid?
she's the one opening it.
dragon thing.
She's the one opening it. Well, yeah.
Where does this portal even go?
Somewhere wilderness. Like, yeah. It's like different
Does
every
it go
time.
north? Does it go
It's
north?
kind of different every time.
I mean, that sounds like fun. Not gonna lie.
Just randomly walking through a portal and appearing somewhere?
We did it with the cube.
Oh.
Seems to go fine.
Yeah.
I grit my teeth at the mentioning of the cube.
Were you drinking also, Pandal?
A little bit, yeah.
Grief.
I mean, there's also dancing, so I mean, you get some prayer.
I am
this-
not in the mood for dancing.
Okay.
At this point, I'd like to do something with other people that is slightly remotely happy.
Okay. So
Yeah, see, Wakili gets it.
Dude,
There's just a slight like don't sort of look from Wakili over at you, Pandal.
Okay, not with me. Fine, I'll find a market for these green surprises. It's all right. It's not an issue.
Oh, God,
is that
it's
what
not
you're
selling people
calling them?
drugs.
I think it's sellable. It's catchy. Kids are gonna make it. We're not gonna sell to kids because
I was about to say, are you really thinking about selling these things?
Yeah, I would have to have some kind of moral backbone. I'll sell them to adults, and if they make poor decisions with them, that's not up to me. Look, I could probably get like 10 gold a pop, right? That's 400 gold easy.
Why are we trying to? The last time someone with an
Full
inkling of
gold?
magical ability freaking caused a unicorn to be summoned or transformed, I don't even give two shits at this point. Why are we messing with such artifacts?
No, that's the point. We're getting rid of them for massive amounts of profit.
This sounds like an awful idea.
Fine, I won't do it. So I'll just drink and party with the rest of you.
I mean, it sounds like an awful idea, but by all means do it.
Oh, wonderful. Glad you have a death wish as strong as mine.
It's not like we're going to come back here.
I would prefer you didn't sell drugs.
Right.
I mean,
Fine.
especially if you're planning to have, yeah. So, help out with your thingamajiggy.
That's probably a good shout.
She already hates me anyway.
Hey, that's you, mate. I am a lovable scamp to everyone at the moment. I think Jack makes a good point. Maybe I shouldn't become a lovable scamp who's also selling very dodgy crystals. Here,
You
anyway.
made a deal
I
with
mean,
the same
the
fucking
lovable-
bastard.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
the
look-
lovable kind of fades away at that point.
I'm just gonna look at Panda when he says level scamp to everyone.
Look, everyone's making a big deal about it. It's fine. It's under my control. That's why it was a good
Yeah,
deal, unlike the one you made, Mr. Smoke Monster.
I
It's not-
didn't make any deals.
That's what you keep telling me.
To be fair, I
what I
much
do.
quickly believe Mathias over a voice that appears out of God's only know where.
Possibly space.
At this point, I just like, oh, sorry, Jack. Some revelations have come about with how Mathias here achieves his magical abilities.
Jack's just eyes kind of have been just jumping between all of you guys. Just okay.
The long and short of it is, there's some powerful bastard trying to get my soul and he ain't getting it.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yes.
the usual Saturday afternoon sort of thing. I say, waving my hand very nonchalantly.
Yeah. You should maybe get that looked at.
Oh, he
Yeah.
did!
Okay.
Bloody
He
hell,
did.
I did. Look, my will's all on paper. It's all
Okay.
good.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean,
If I suddenly
Uh,
turn rabbit and start killing you guys for no apparent reason, feel free to shoot me in the head.
Akane shivers. That's all.
yep. No, yeah. It's
In the
kind of-
meantime, I've
I guess
started
that's kind of like an inherent thing here that you kind of, if someone tries to kill you, you can kill them back.
I mean,
Is it not in Korea?
we. I mean, it's
Well-
not always the best to try and go about it with lethal violence when it comes to people. Sometimes it's wise to be kind and give people a second chance.
Mm.
Korea has
Not
regular guards that act kind of like the police. I mean, you can do it, but there's going to be a lot of paperwork, it's going to be an absolute mess, and it's like only in self-defense.
Oh.
This place, a little bit more lax. If they try and kill you, you try and kill them right back.
Do it with a machete now.
Well, that's literally self-defense. Oh.
I mean, yeah, but you know, stuff escalates a little bit quicker out here. It's a bit more wild, if that makes sense.
Well,
Mm. There's something there. So when are we leaving?
As soon as possible, I think.
I kinda want to see this portal. I kinda don't want to hang around any place that Druid lady's about.
Yeah,
I'm
I
good
mean,
to
there's
go
also
with
a
you
party,
guys.
a festival kind of thing that goes on. So I mean, that's good times. Half price. That's
Dude, I had a migraine attack so bad no hangover in the universe will ever compare to it.
and you should be fine partying.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
Sauriv, go ahead and roll me 20 plus 46, and let's see if it compares. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
What?
It's the damage he took from it. Fuck, yeah, that's the damage he took from the migraine. I'm just memeing.
Let's hang around the festival. Dance a bit, have some fun, and then let's head off to Korea.
Yeah, and everyone can lighten up a bit, because bloody hell. So, my mind's gonna be taken over by an evil entity all the time with you lot, innit? Let's go have some fun.
Yeah.
That happened half an hour ago.
Exactly! It's been like 30 minutes!
Yeah, get over it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dude!
30 minutes! Plenty of time!
If you're treating me,
Sure, it's half price anyway, fine.
fine then.
Let's
I'll
go
try and have some fun.
So, you guys are gonna drink and wait for the next sort of half hour, I assume?
Yes.
I think we're going to the festival.
So, okay. About, around 1 o'clock, about 10-15 minutes before, you see a number of the other patrons begin sort of filing out. They begin getting up, taking their drinks with them actually, and around 5 minutes to 1, if you guys haven't already left by then, Scandrick, the dwarven bartender, will come up and basically kick you out.
Yeah. I
And
got enough shuffle people out there.
yeah, he's like, come on, go. We're going to the festival. And leads everyone back into that central area of town where the blacksmith is, and that's kind of, it's not in the centre, it's kind of off to one side facing the centre, and there's this sort of large area. And the majority of the town begins to slowly gather there. The whole place has been decorated, there are flowers and shit that's everywhere that wasn't there before. There's this large archway being sort of erected. It appears to be made of solid stone that's been erected in the centre. And it's not like one piece either, it's 3 separate pieces. The 2 side pieces, each of which that sort of curve up, and at the top there's this huge different coloured stone. It's like the 2 side pieces is kind of like a sort of typical grey stone. I don't know what it's called, but like very bland grey rock that's been carved. And at the top is this marble, what appears to be kind of spherical, but with slightly sort of sanded down faces on 6 sides, kind of like a cube. Mostly spherical, just little faces on it. And there is a number of sort of vines and things that are growing up around this. And Izo and Aski are there, stood either side of it. They've got some incense, some sort of offerings and things that have been laid down on a small table that's actually inside of this archway, and they're beginning to sort of chant and perform in this ritual that, by the looks of it, they've been doing for a little while. And there's people beginning to gather around them. Quite a few of them holding small candles or burning incense sticks. The smell of the incense is actually beginning to get pretty strong. It's the first time you've really seen any smoke inside here, and it's really beginning to... It's actually almost nauseatingly strong. And
Like smoke inside a cave.
Hey, guys.
the smoke is drifting up towards the roof, and
Yep.
it does appear to be vanishing, but it's still very strong. And that there are a few tables with candles and just sort of laid out on them, and incense sticks. There's quite a few people wearing this sort of completely white porcelain mask that's got 2 little slits for eyes, and a single line across where the mouth would be. Not open or anything, just a line indented in it. And it's about like half the villagers are wearing those.
Guys,
Mac?
you know how today's Mother's Day, right? And I'm like
Is it?
5 hours behind you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got told we're going to go out to eat and see Infinity War for Mother's Day. Literally just got told it.
Rip.
Welp.
I'm
Rip.
Rip
sorry.
that, I guess.
I'll be back.
That's fair.
I'll be back as soon as I can be, but it looks like I'm out for now because I mean
Well,
it is for Mother's Day and I want to.
Yeah.
That's
it's
the thing
gonna
I
be at
forgot
least
existed.
4 hour, mates. Let's face it.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
watching Infinity
I'm-
Wars. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Infinity Wars.
Yargon, I'm really sorry, buddy.
It's fine, man.
I'll,
I know.
Oh.
Nothing you can do about it. Okay, well,
I'll be back. I'll watch
Obi-Wan Kenobi dies in Infinity War.
Damn it, Mom!
He's
What's
also the
next? Are
father
you gonna
of
tell me
Luke.
that Anakin Skywalker becomes Darth Vader?
no, but he does hate sand.
Preposterous. He does hate that, but that's true.
And
Does what?
and he's the father of Obi.
Yeah, that's also true. Padme's their daughter.
That makes so much sense.
Anyway,
Mind blown.
catch you later,
But
mate.
yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah, chill.
Really,
Okay.
I'm really sorry, guys.
Wakili's
fun.
entering DM quiet mode.
Wakili will stick around Jack for the record.
Sure.
Your
Yeah,
new
he
friend.
does seem to
He's
be
a
the
Indeed
same
Jack
one.
shit.
Right, let me open up
Well, he might
Wakili's
talk to the
directory.
druid, summon druidic, so, and I think I'm the only one that speaks it in the group, so there.
Yeah, and
Well,
I know
he
he
isn't doing
intends
jack
to,
shit.
or wants to sort of talk to ASCII a bit more, right? Like in...
Yeah.
Sure. That's fine.
Alright, sorry, once again. I'll be back later. Talk to you guys then.
Anyway,
Sorry.
alright,
Have
catch you.
fun.
Catch it.
Okie dokie.
And with that, we prove not all the ND alerts are no-lifers.
It's with his family.
Just
so,
most of them.
Yeah, no, that's a him thing.
Akane.
His family.
Yeah, family. Nobody else has families, it's just Mac.
Yeah.
So,
Now, see, the thing is, he's doing this in the middle of the day, whilst we're doing this in the evening.
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, you all walk into the sort of area where the blacksmith is, and it's all open. Again, as I say, there's sort of tables around the a few tables, like carts set up more really around the outside, with candles and incense sticks on them. There's a few of these masks. People appear to be selling them, and you do see a few people buying these little these white porcelain sort of masks. There do appear to be versions that are built sort of in a Dragonborn style, and also just they come in sort of 3 different sizes for the effective humanoid face.
You know what? I don't have one. That's mine, so I'm gonna buy one.
Okay. They're only 1 copper piece each.
Damn it.
Yeah. You walk up.
Exchange stuff.
Yeah. You walk up to the cart. The guys there. They don't say anything, and it's dead silent in here, other than the 2 who are chanting, ASCII and Iza. Which I probably should mention. As there's like most of the town is gathered around, it's completely silent. Like kind of hear your footsteps level of silent. Other than that, which is a bit eerie. And as you walk up to them, he sort of gestures 1 finger forward and thumbs up and hands you it, and just
Yeah.
1, and then you hand him 1 copper. And
Go back.
Pandal can hear in his mind, Well, this ain't the merry punch. How am I supposed to cheer up?
Well, I'm gonna then cast message back to Mathias, but like, I don't know, just like buy a mask and drink some alcohol. That's what I'll be doing. We'll work it out. I'm also gonna go over and buy a mask.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll join in and buy a mask.
Yeah, they're 1 copper piece each. Wikili looks at them and looks like he wants to, but realizes he has a beak and a bird face and can't because they don't come in bird.
I guess I
Check
can't
one of
either
those
then.
Dragonborn.
You could wear a Dragonborn style one.
Oh, right, yeah.
That would just about fit. It would be a little bit off. The eyes be kind of slightly in the wrong place. But
It's gonna be blind.
you could.
So
it
what
wouldn't
was-
blind you. You could still see through it. It might maybe clip your peripheral vision a bit. It's not perfect, but it'll work, kind of thing.
Alright then. Yeah, sure, I'll go for one. Why
Okay.
the hell not?
The guy offers you up incense sticks as you, sort of questioning look on his face as you guys buy masks. It's for the record, it appears to be about a dwarf in height. You can't see the face, you just see the mask, and it's wearing sort of these big long robes with a hood up over us. All you can see, big sort of
Okay.
dark red robes.
Is he just looking at us, or?
Well, he offers you out an incense stick.
Oh, right. Alright, I'll take one then.
Yeah, he'll offer you each incense sticks and light them if anyone
Sure.
needs them lit.
I'll take him.
Yeah, I'll take a incense then.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
I'll take one and light it with fire, produce flame.
sure. He looks, well, you can't tell, but actually, yeah, you can't tell because he's wearing a mask.
He looks at you.
This is a very clever way of not giving voices to everyone in the town. I can fucking approve of this shit.
Lazy DM 101.
Very good.
But as you join sort of the back, the rear of this group that appears to have gathered all the way round, and you see what appears to be the enchantment that Aski and Izo have been casting slowly coming to an end, and the smoke that is beginning to gather in the room begins coalescing back down, slowly drifting in, like just away, as if drawn from the incense sticks by a light breeze, although you don't feel anything, and from the candles, and you see it sort of begin to coalesce around the sort of few offerings on the table, which is just pieces of fruit, some flowers, some kind of basic stuff, and as they begin to coalesce around it, you see this sort of, each of the things on the table takes on this kind of a sheen of smoke around it that's carefully sort of what's the word, sort of covering it, and it almost looks like they're being emanated from the whatever it is itself, in a strange way. It sort of fades away as the distance increases from it. I don't know words anymore. And each of the things on the table slowly begin to rise up into the center, and then they're gone, just with a sort of no silence or sound or anything. They're just gone. And you see the table itself begin to sort of shake, and then it falls. You just see the two pieces fall. It would be away from each other, as this sort of shimmering light fills the inside of the archway. And as the table appears to be perfectly cut in half, each piece sort of crumpling in on itself. You can't see through it or anything, and quickly a couple of the townsfolk come and take away the table, and then wordlessly begin stepping through from both sides, just vanishing the moment they're through.
Just gonna cast message at Jack. Is this some kind of like sacrifice, or
No.
very reassured by
Shut
that?
up, man.
As the portal appears to... It's kind of weird. You don't see the portal itself, but you do see that there's no people on the other side. Like, where you would expect there to be a person as they sort of walk behind it, you don't see that. You don't see them, but you can see the rest of the cavern and that kind of stuff. Anything inanimate, but you don't see any people or clothes or anything like that walking on the other side. And you just see people just walk into this, like, between the light and just disappear. And slowly the crowd begins to dwindle down. There's the people who aren't wearing masks. Most of them keeping a pretty stoic expression, or it's something they've seen a lot, especially recently. And so they don't have much in the way of, like, amazed expressions. There are a few, mostly the smaller children, like, because people are disappearing, but they're all being shushed by parents. And all of the people who walk through are wearing these masks.
I'll start going on through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
also gonna go, but I'm gonna be very.
I want to quickly buy them off
Really?
before I follow
Guess.
them.
Sure, it'll just be a copper piece. So,
Yeah.
everyone who has a mask is going through?
Uh-huh.
Sure, I'll follow them.
Okay. Wikili goes to step through, following you, Jack, but just as you step through, as you all step through one after the other, you see Aski just sort of put a hand out and stop him, point at the mask, and just shake her head. She is wearing a mask as well, and sort of pull him off to one side. And with that, as you pass through, you find yourselves suddenly battered by wind. There's a gate similar to the one that you just stepped through behind you. You can see through it, you see the harsh rock and dirt of what appears to be an otherwise verdant landscape. But as you look through it, you don't see any plant life on the far side. You do, however, see the soil and the rocks, but not the grass that covers the ground in front of you. The wind it's pretty strong. It's almost a kind of angry wind battering at you, trying to push you over. And you see a number of trees nearby that are bent in the wind. Whether they're always bent due to a constant wind or not, it's not obvious. They're that sort of shh sound as the wind sort of messes with the leaves is apparently near constant. As you take a few steps forward, and you realise that it's not difficult to breathe, but the air is lighter up here. As you realise you're up, you look forward. The edge of where you're standing appears to be it appears like a meadow, but in front of you it reaches an edge and then just nothing. You can't really see anything past that. And as you walk towards it, like it's only a few feet away, you walk towards it and you look down and you are flying over the ocean. Thousands of feet below you. Behind you there is a mountain, singular, piercing upwards into the sky, almost entirely covered in snow. A few fir trees up its side, but nothing much. And to either side, as you look around, you note that this sort of border that you're by appears to curve off into sort of out of sight behind some of the trees and some other things that are dotted around this landscape. You look down again, and you realise that not only does the land sort of just disappear, almost like a cliff, but as it sort of folds under you, and you get a vague sense that you might be on some kind of floating island. You don't see any other people. But you see each other. You don't see any of the other people who walk through in masks.
How restrictive are these masks in view?
For everyone except Sauriv, not at all.
Okay.
This is normal, but
I'm gonna take my mask off
happens when
because it's kind of struggling to see here. So
Sure. Yeah. It's got like a little strap at the back, and you undo the strap, sort of pull it off your face. Yeah, you take the mask off.
what
Remaining
the hell has
silent,
happened?
I'm gonna start towards the mountain.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take a look around. Yargon, for
Yes.
reference, this isn't something Jack has probably walked through one of these portals before.
Yeah.
This is normal, right?
Appearing somewhere without the rest of the group,
Yeah.
that's happened a few times before. That does happen sometimes. No one knows why, but sometimes groups get split, especially if there's a pause between them. It's all anyone knows. If a bunch of people go through and there's a pause, and then another group go through, they tend to come out in different places. As for floating islands. You've heard stories that once or twice this has happened, but that's it. You've never actually seen it.
There's kind of a current been like, well, this is new.
Hmm.
Was the silence thing
Okay,
compulsory,
how's it
or
going
was
now?
it like a just a while we're in there thing?
It's kind
You
of more like
All hear in your mind. If whatever is after my soul has anything to do with this, be ready to ditch me and bail the hell out of here.
Like, message back to Mathias. Always ready to ditch you, buddy. Don't worry. I can't send emoji in message.
I won't
Otherwise, send a little heart.
I won't miss you either, Pandal.
I'm gonna blow a kiss to him. Because from wherever we are.
Why is Mathias in my brain?
He's...
Matthias is
Don't
headed
like
for the
this.
mountain.
The
Is there any
mountain.
I'll just
pathway
take a look
to see
around.
here?
Is there any what?
Pathway? Any trail?
Um,
Anything to that says follow this?
Go for a survival check.
Boy.
For the record, the
Is
mountain
perception not
does
good
appear to
enough?
be some way off. Survival.
Right.
You're looking for tracks or a path of some kind. 16.
There you go.
Yeah, there appears to be a few tracks, mostly by animals, but there does appear to be one track that is... you see a few sort of stones that are squarer than you might expect, completely covered in moss, and you see them sort of stacked up on each other, and then little ways, you see a few more. Little ways further down, you see a few more. Appears to be some kind of path.
I'll start following it.
I'm gonna start following him as well.
Sure, why not?
Yep. I'm gonna have my sword out and resting on my shoulder.
So, you all follow
Ready to
this
attack.
this path. It does appear to go on for quite some time. As you keep following, you feel like this... You follow it for about sort of 10 minutes, conscious of the time. And as you do, you don't see an end in sight. You begin walking between some of these few sparse trees, and as you do, the trees get denser and denser, and the wind noise begins to die down more as you get further away from sort of the edge. And you begin hearing the sounds of gently flowing water. You cross a small stream and continue onwards. The path becoming slightly more distinct, the moss a little less so, and you even see a scrap of cloth hanging from one of the, or flapping, from one of the small stone piles. Just a small red cloth. You continue onwards, another 10 minutes, another 5 minutes. It doesn't appear to be there as much in the way of an end in sight. As the terrain changes around you from the meadow, more into the interior of a woodland, you see there's dead leaves, mostly deciduous, but there's sort of dead leaves around you, fallen branches, that kind of stuff. You crest over a small hill, and there is effectively what is kind of like a valley, but it looks almost like a gash in the landscape. The very steep sides to it, in the bottom of which runs a small stream. There's a faint cave covered over with some ivy on the far side, and the stream appears to be coming up down from the mountain. The path bends off to the left and follows the stream up towards the mountain.
I'll take at the top of the gash. I'll take a look. You know what? If you don't mind, I'll roll some survival. Some perception to spot any living creature,
Sure.
effectively, or any sign of life that recently passed through.
Looking for tracks of any creatures is survival. Perception would see
For any signs of life, really.
Perception will see anything that's currently there. Survival's more
Sure
looking for
thing.
tracks and that kind of stuff.
Sure thing.
Um,
Is there anything here?
You see a few small critters around, like maybe rabbits or a hare of some kind, a few birds in the trees that are not being quiet. You can hear them quite loudly. You think that you see a brief flash of movement inside the cave, but you're not quite sure.
It's a bear.
you're all hearing your minds again. The path leads to the mountain. There might be something in the cave.
Do we have a policy on killing this thing? Are we gonna? But we
It
should sort that
attacks
out
us, we kill it.
beforehand.
If it
Okay.
attacks us, we kill it.
I
Good
mean,
policy.
let's go into the cave.
Fine. Let's leave it.
It looks interesting, so.
Just for the record, you've walked for 25 minutes to get here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. So, you're heading towards the cave?
Sure, I'll take my mask off
Cave
before
of doom.
descending into the gash.
Okay. You remove your mask as you head down. The cave on the far side, you kind of have to scrabble over the stream a bit. There's no path here. The cave appears quite small. It goes relatively far back. At least, there's one layer of sort of ivy and vines hanging across it, and as you push those back, there appears to be sort of about a 10-foot gap, and then another layer of ivy, so you have to sort of go past, and then you open the second layer. Inside that, you see what appears to be the back of the cave wall. Roll me an investigation check.
With pleasure.
I assume that's everybody, yeah?
Well, it's mostly just Mathias, because he's the first one there, I assume.
Okay.
I'm rolling really mediocre.
Yeah, you are, but that does it. There is something about this, as you look at where the back of this cave wall joins the rest of it. You can see what appears to be kind of like a seam. You see rocks sort of joining at 90-degree angles that don't look right.
I'll take a closer look. Any sign of traps?
You can't see anything.
I'm gonna press it, try and open it, as if it were a door.
Your hand passes straight through.
Gonna look back, check the others are there, and walk straight on through.
Sure. What is everyone else doing before we get to his demise? You'll follow him?
I follow him.
Yeah, I guess we're like.
I
okay.
guess.
Should we just kind of abandon him and run away?
Yeah, but this is
And
like
he
a
said
magic
that we
door.
should be ready for it, so I mean, it just disappeared, so I mean.
Yeah, it's a cave though. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna stab you, cave. It's just like, oh, it's a cave. Pass through a wall. I want to see where this goes. Follow.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
Tot tot.
No, this is it. Let's go.
So, as you also step through the cave, into the cave, you see around you a circular chamber. Kind of rough-hewn, but it does appear to have been carved out of the rock. Coming down from the centre, there is a small sort of trickle of water that appears to be flowing onto a tree. The tree, whilst appearing full-grown, is only maybe 3 feet tall, but it has that appearance of a fully grown tree, kind of like a bonsai tree. The water is sort of slowly sort of streaming down on top of this, and as it does, as it reaches it, it appears to sort of disperse more into rain. Around the tree, you can see what kind of look like small farms, tiny in nature. Maybe only an inch across per field, and you see hundreds of them laid out before you. This is in a sort of circular, what's it called? There's a circular sort of raised dais around which is about maybe, it's about 15 feet in radius, 30 feet in diameter. Around that is another 10 foot of just rough-hewn stone sort of walkway. And on this dais you see farms, you see what appears to be a tiny little windmill, but it appears to be dead or destroyed in some way. And as I say, as the water sort of rains down on it, it turns into this mist that falls like rain, but tiny.
That's interesting.
You see a number of fields and roads. You don't see anything alive. You just see the fields do appear to have been tended to.
I'm gonna have a closer look. Very careful not to breathe too hard on any of it.
Okay, do you cross the boundary at all? Like, you lean over
what
it?
boundary?
Basically onto the dais. You lean over the sort of dais area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, as you do, the rest of them see you begin to shrink suddenly. Rapidly, you... And suddenly you are tiny. You are on scale, and you are falling. Mathias, you're about 500 feet in the air? Actually, no, you'd be way more than that. You'd be about 5,000 feet in the air.
We see him falling.
Can we actually see him?
You see the sort of
I
tiny
see a tiny
Mathias.
Mathias falling. I go after him.
As you look around, you see everyone else huge in scale, and you are falling. You go after him?
Yeah, I try and lean over as well.
I'll
You
try and
lean over
mentally
and
say to everyone, stay the hell away from this.
That works.
I'm-
You all hear that just as Pandal. You lean over it, and you also shrink, and suddenly you're next to him, also falling.
What do I roll to effectively go spread eagle and steer myself away from this dais?
A free fall check.
Okay. Oh, he doesn't do anything. I'm
How do I
gonna
roll a free fall
cast
check?
Featherfall.
That's Shadowrun.
Yep.
Okay, so Pandal cast Shadowrun.
Cast Shadowrun. Roll a billion d6.
You all get 500 d6s.
You cast Freefall on. Is it just you, or is it both of you?
It's you and me, me and Mathias, because I want to do the fun thing, and I'm going to save
take
to
your
save
overwatch
Mathias' fucking ass.
So you are casting it on both of you.
Yes.
Oh,
They're
it's
both going
not.
to fall slow.
Okay. So you
Didn't
begin
know
to
if the
fall slow.
thing would block it or not, so I ran over.
Sure. You are suddenly both falling quite slowly. You see the two of them just drifting ever so slowly downwards.
You're welcome!
They appear to be more or less just hanging in the air, actually, from you guys' perspective.
I'm gonna
So
look
slowly
up
drifting downwards.
We can just
That-
sit
that
at the border
feather
just
fall.
looking at them.
Yeah?
Oh.
How many
they-
feet is it down?
It's 60 feet down, but it's fine. It absorbs any landing force. We'll be fine.
No. How many feet till we hit the ground?
Quite a few.
Is that looks more than 600, you spanner.
I could just recast, it's fine. You need to just, like, mellow out.
down.
You have a bad day.
What can I say? But you're welcome.
After looking at
I'm
these,
gonna-
for the record, it would be acrobatics, I'd say, to try and sort of steal
Yeah.
yourself out.
I'm gonna do that. I want to get out.
It's going to be quite hard because, of course, it is.
Well, I have some time now that I'm descending a lot slower.
Yeah.
You also have less force.
Swimming.
That'll do it.
Swimming in the air.
Yargon,
Yes.
do I see any, I'm just from a bit of a distance, do I see any other tiny people in the village?
You only see one building, which is the
Oh,
windmill that appears old and sort of destroyed. You see well-tended fields, but you don't see any people.
Okay.
Mathias, as you do that, you begin to sort of, you go spread eagle, you do the kind of dive thing where you kind of lean forwards and you manage to sort of skydive effectively. It doesn't work very well, unfortunately. You did need to roll a nat 20 because you're falling so slowly. You don't have enough force to basically push yourself off of anything. But you did, so you managed to roll yourself... not roll yourself? Well, yes, I guess. You managed to glide yourself slowly out towards the edge, and the moment you are away from the edge, you suddenly expand up to full size and fall flat on your face. It doesn't hurt.
Oh, all right then. I'm gonna bring my greatsword out,
Mhm.
and I'm going to try and just push Pandal to the edge with the flat of my
I'm
greatsword.
gonna roll away from him.
As you shove your greatsword into it,
Very gently.
your
I guess
your greatsword suddenly shrinks out of your hand. It's now falling next to you, Pandal. In fact,
Can I grab it?
that's going to be acrobatics. No, dexterity save because it's falling faster than you are.
True. Come on, baby.
22. Yeah, you just about grab at the hilt.
Okay,
Managed to
I'm gonna
grab
hang on to
onto it.
Sauriv's greatsword
Mhm.
and cast the fucking damage spell I got next level. Thank fuck. Thunderwave has like backwards force, right? I use it to propel myself.
Is Thunderwave in all directions?
No, Thunderwave is in a 15-foot cone.
Then
In a
yes,
direction.
it will do. It will have equal force backwards because why not?
So blammo, gonna auto fail the save. I'm gonna try and push myself like towards the edge of the thing.
Wait,
it's a
well,
cube.
you wouldn't need
so-
to make the...
Okay, well I just want to swoosh away from the main thing and just back towards the edge.
Yeah, So, you all hear this tiny pop, and then Pandal is suddenly propelled away with nothing to slow you down, with basically no friction other than air resistance, which is pretty minimal, like, most of the time. Still falling, you suddenly begin to expand to full size, still wielding a massive sword as you are thrown out onto your face. The sword is bigger than you are, and Sauriv, just roll me a dex save to sort of get out of the way as he does this.
Sure.
Hit by a blight sword.
Because the sword's kind of pretty...
Because of dangers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're absolutely fine. You just step to one side as your sword suddenly just appears next to you. As Pandal sort of thumps onto the ground in front of him.
Oh, that's better.
But like, hit the ground, like, and flip back up, and like, ta-da!
I get up.
I'm gonna like lean down next to the thing, and we're just gonna take one of my bullets and just roll it into the, and see if it continues on the ground or if it falls.
There's a ledge. It is. You are about an inch down, depressed, before where effectively this appears to just sort of end in what looks like a very small wall. And then, so you carefully place it onto the wall. It does, and as you roll it onto what would be a road, it just shrinks out of sight. You can't even see it. It's so small.
I'm gonna try to like just like do the same thing just with my foot. You know, just try to keep it connected to the ground.
Okay. So you kind of place your toe on it and just slide your foot forward, and as you do, suddenly your form shrinks, and you are stood on the edge, looking up. Your bullet's on the ground in front of you. It's sort of rolled a little bit into the dirt, but not very far, because it's kind of a gravelly, dirty surface for the road. You see the farms all around you. You see the one tree, which, now that you look at it, it looks kind of like a bonsai tree before. It now looks huge. Yeah. Like, this is a very, very ancient tree. You can see the faint rain that's raining down on it from the one stream. With this perpetual little rainbow, it was so small you could barely even see it before. And as you look back, you see Sauriv wears a loincloth, and that's an unfortunate sight. And you see everyone else towering over you. You guys see him reduced to the size of about maybe half an inch tall.
Right, so...
I think
you're
we're
shorter
to just
than
kind
me.
of shuck it out just because it's fun.
I just want to dive in there and spread my wings.
Okay, so Akane jumps forward, spreading her wings, and Akane, you are suddenly a few thousand feet in the air.
I'm flying down.
Tiny, yeah.
You can fly, it's fine.
And you begin sort of falling and controlling your flight as you do. Absolutely.
Guess we're going exploring that little world then? Well, either that or we go up the mountain and see where the path leads.
I'd say this has all taken about 2 or 3 minutes.
I was fiddling with a couple of magnets. 2 of them just took off somewhere in my room.
Yeah, that happens.
Just shrug at Mathias. Like, well, I mean, I kind of have a thing. We should probably go at least stop them, destroying everything.
Well,
I see them talking and just start heading towards the tree. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you hear their voices. They are like loud, very deep, loud voices. Huge, rumbling, booming voices. Even Pandal, who's usually quite a high-pitched, tinny voice, just to his size.
I'm a Pandal. Hello.
Yeah, you begin heading off towards the tree. It looks like it's a decent walk. It'll take a couple of minutes to get up there. 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
wanna go after them?
I'll slow jog.
Sure.
I'm going after them.
He's going on.
I don't know what's happening. What is this thing? What is going on?
She
It's
just
like-
thinks your foot onto it slowly like Jack did, and I'm gonna follow Jack's example.
Okay, Mathias,
That's my...
you sort of shrink down and you're stood at the end of the road, just like the others. Pandal, you do the same, but attempting not to stand on Mathias, you find yourself a few hundred feet off to one side, in the middle of what appears to be 5 foot tall golden cornfields, just as far as you can see, which is about 3 feet, because you're kind of in the middle of it.
And with message with a range of 120 feet, I'm going to message Mathias. This is the view I have all the time. Then point up to Sauriv.
I'm just gonna very slowly do the same thing,
Okay?
I guess.
Yeah, you also find yourself in the middle of a cornfield. As you shrink down, you can sort of see roughly where you are. It does happen quickly, but you see it and you shrink down. Again, you're towering over the corn. You can see the others. They're just like 50 feet off to your left. And then Pandal's another 100 feet or so off to the right, off to your left. After that. And
Well.
you both sort of head over towards the road, I assume.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's Akane?
Akane's overhead, just falling. She's sort of diving towards you.
She can take a while, I assume so.
Not very
Just
far.
like going down like, woo!
It's like 3 or 4 turns.
Oh,
It's like 500 and something feet per turn.
that's it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like 570 feet
Yeah,
per turn.
default.
Default full damage.
Free falling?
Default falling.
I believe it's 500 feet per turn.
Oh, right, it should be 570. Or is it 527
Well, yeah.
or something? We did the maths in Neritan. It is like 500 feet per turn, though,
500 is
for
close
the rule.
enough.
I think the rule is 500. It's a significant fall.
What is
So-
this? Shadowrun Astral or what the fuck?
No, I think that.
It's because 9.8 meters per second squared for 5 seconds, you fall a very, very long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I
it just
mean,
takes that distance and goes, you're at terminal velocity now, and just keeps adding it.
No, that was without terminal velocity. That's with the acceleration.
What's
That's
oh,
the first round.
Yeah. Either way, you fall a really long distance, and within like 2 or 3 turns, Akane is like spreads out her wings and slowly swoops down over the sort of golden cornfields, leaving a bit of a wake behind her as she does.
Jack, could you even hear us? While you're in here.
Yeah. You're really loud and have a deep voice.
Also, no change for me then.
Maybe that's why they're all
Um,
keeping so quiet. Well, whoever's in here knows we're coming.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna start walking
Wait.
towards a tree.
Okay.
Mm.
I suppose I'm going to follow as well.
Hey, at least you have a bunch of food if you want to
Just
stay.
kind of looking around, kind of confused as to how small I am.
Mhm.
This is weird.
Good point. How much food do we have? Other than corn.
I
It-
have 8 rations.
Well, you have what appears to be more or less endless corn.
Yeah.
There are a few other like plants here and there that you can see. You'd have to go over and investigate them. They're quite a distance away, mostly. This area appears to be corn.
I can forage. I'm fine.
And
I can forage.
you begin walking towards the tree. At first, it looks kind of just like a big tree. Your perception of scale is kind of thrown off by whatever that was.
Shrinking.
As you begin to approach the tree, it becomes evident that it is huge compared to you. It is the kind of tree where its one root might arc up about as high as a house before diving back into the soil, and you see a number of these. It appears to be an old sort of oak tree, sort of twisted and gnarled bark as it curls upwards towards the sky. It's this one huge canopy. It appears to be sort of collecting the rainfall, and as it does, you don't see the ground around it very much from where you are, but it does appear that it's not like raining. Like the rain is hitting the tree, but it's not going past that.
So how tall was that tree, guys? About 3 feet?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think we're proper tiny right now.
Yep.
Oh, so
Really?
this is what it feels like to be in a box.
yeah, it's a,
Kinda.
I mean, you know, it's
Pretty
100% less boxy.
This is what it
Man,
must
yeah.
feel like to be Pendle.
Yeah, it's just daily life, man. It's a struggle.
I just hold my hand up to Akane for a high five.
I high five it.
Fly-by high five.
Oh yeah, definitely. Fuck yeah.
else is good at loincloths are the terrible set of garments.
Tell me about
What?
it.
Please get some, like,
Nice.
some underwear at
Well,
least. Come on, man.
I'm glad I didn't see that.
I don't need that.
Oh,
Yeah, I was trying to look at all you guys, and this is just there it is.
Giant lizard slung.
I mean,
Or tiny, we don't know.
Size of houses, I tell you.
It is when he's this size.
Yeah.
You know, even though he was that big, I still couldn't see it.
Stop
I mean-
yourself.
It's time to
TP?
stop.
How long do you guys walk for?
how long is it to the tree?
Be sort of what you as you start walking, it looks like it'll be 10-15 minutes, but you start walking, you don't appear to get any closer, and you're getting further from the edge, but you press on a little bit and you realise that might be as far as an hour's walk to the tree.
So,
we should just
question.
jump.
We've been here for like maybe up to an hour already. When's that portal gonna close?
You've not been here an hour.
Okay.
You have been here about
Half an hour.
Yeah, been
Yeah,
about
it's
10
a
minutes
bit-
maybe.
it's been about 10 minutes plus the sort of 25, so you've been about
35 minutes?
yeah,
Is that
about 35 minutes.
basic maths you're doing?
I'm not very good at it.
So we've been
So,
here about
how long-
35 minutes. How long's that portal gonna stay open?
I did message you, Hex.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah, no. Okay. It tends to be open in about an hour, so we don't have time for this.
I don't think we're gonna get to the tree.
Yeah, we should probably go back.
We should probably run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we
That's
should.
true.
Yeah.
I'll hop on Sauriv's shoulders.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, cock.
Time to go.
Pandal, I'm gonna start heading back already. Pandal, you can't speed the lot of us up, can you?
I could speed one of us up and then make one of us very exhausted. It's not really. As Sauriv's wanting to
but-
carry everyone, it's not going to work.
Let's not do
I
that.
could carry a couple of folks.
yeah, just
Yeah,
start running.
Run.
So, you'll begin to run.
Yep.
As you do, you realise the distance you crossed in that sort of first few minutes of walking, first 5-10 minutes of walking
Yeah.
on this small plane. You're not making it backwards. You're running, the ground's passing beneath you, passing the corn, but you're not getting no closer to the edge.
I'm gonna keep running for now.
I'm just gonna run on. Partly in frustration.
Evil DM Grim.mp4.
15 minutes-ish. I'll keep
Okay.
running like that for 15 minutes, and if then there's no sign, then well.
You don't appear to have made any progress after 15 minutes.
How far will we run?
I'm gonna just slow down and come to a halt. Well, this is bloody useless.
Uh-huh. I mean,
Um,
seems like we have
well-
endless corn, so
even if we make it
Yay.
out of this little, of this little place, we're still gonna be too late for the portal.
I mean, we walked, we could run back, theoretically.
Yeah, but we only have like 15 minutes left, if not less.
And no one
I don't
recognises
think we
any
can get
flying
twice as
islands.
fast.
Like, I don't remember any flying islands on any maps I've ever seen, which admittedly is very
I'll
few, but
take out my pistol and just shoot it in the general direction. of the-
You fire off your pistol, and after a brief moment, this massive boulder appears at the edge and begins rolling away. This steel ball, which looks pretty much like a perfect sphere from your perspective. You can see these huge craters and dents and flat surfaces to it as it thunk, 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 as it rolls, and you see it disappear over an edge.
Well, I mean, we can get there. Friendly.
We can, but how long's that gonna take? Well, you know how fast our things go better than I do.
Yeah, roughly how far would I judge the distance before it appeared?
From what you can see, it looks like about 50 feet.
Yeah, from the timing.
Oh, yeah, it would look like it's about 50 feet.
Well then,
I mean,
But as you walk forward, you don't appear to get any closer. There's just
flying seems to be a good idea. Oh,
Akane, can you get out?
Shit.
Can you fly out, Akane?
I can try. I just
Give it a shot.
fly up,
okay.
I guess.
You fly up.
Fly up and towards the edge.
Okay. As you do, you leave your friends behind. Do you fly out? Yeah. You suddenly become massive and sort of stumble as what was flying is now not flying. It's now being in the ground, walking. And you sort of stumble over and try and catch your balance, and suddenly something slips out from under you, and you guys see what appears to be a giant boulder arc up into the sky, turn in, and then just sort of vanish. Sort of ting, ting,
Oh
ting,
my
ting.
god.
That's
I
awfully
just
worrying.
looked up. So you basically need to fly to get out of here?
I mean, I can make someone fly, but one
Can you
time
make
not gonna last.
all of us fly?
One person.
Well,
Flying
if I,
fools.
And
if,
how often can you do that?
Once a day for 1 hour.
how
Well,
about one of us
if-
flies and picks up one person and just carries them? That's one more.
Yeah, well, unless Sauriv can pick up the lot of us, we're in trouble.
well, I can't do that. I don't have enough hands. But I could take one of you lot and fly out, and then just pick you up off the
Come back.
thing we.
Yeah, come back and do it over and over again.
Okay.
Well, we can do that.
I mean, you're
What
probably
can
the
I
heaviest,
carry?
so best, right?
Time's ticking.
We'll try and make it to the portal. We'd better hurry up. Pandal to it.
Okay, I'm gonna polymorph on Sauriv.
Oh, polymorph. Oh,
Yeah,
I thought it
what
was
I
fly.
have.
Oh no.
No, I don't have fly, I have polymorph, okay?
Okay. What do you
He's
He's
polymorph?
being a giant eagle, have fun.
Oh, a giant eagle. You'd be able to carry 2 people like a giant eagle. They are big eagles.
Okay.
Oh,
They're
okay.
Lord of the Rings style. Yes.
Oh, if I see this, can I see this by the way?
You can see it. It's tiny from your perspective, but you can see it.
Okay. Can I just polymorph Mathias
Sorry,
then
sorry.
into the same?
Yeah, you see. You see Sauriv suddenly turn into what appears to be this tiny, tiny little bird. You can make assumptions and go ahead and polymorph. You reach out your hand.
Polymorph
cast
Mathias
a
into
spell.
a tiny bird.
Oh no, 60 feet. Yeah. So you reach out your
Yeah, it's
hand
absolute
right at the
range.
edge, and yeah, you cast polymorph. Mathias, you suddenly also turn into a large bird.
Okay, that was not me. I have no repercussions for this.
Sauriv, did your intelligence go up or down?
I'm not sure actually.
I think you keep mental stats, don't you?
No, that's
No,
druid
not
shit.
polymorph.
What's your intelligence, Sauriv?
9.
It went
So
down
it
by
did
1
go
point.
down.
Barely.
By
Wait,
1 point.
can Sauriv and I understand each other?
Oh my god.
No, because you're not speaking a language.
Speaking eagle.
Ah!
And a giant eagle is a noble creature that speaks its own language.
I'm gonna start flapping my wings,
You don't know that language, though.
rear up and take
Ah.
off.
You don't know that language, and you don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
No, I
you
think-
wouldn't. You wouldn't know that language because you don't. You just take the physical, and you gain the mental stats, but that's because you take the physical form.
Right, okay, that's fine.
Holy
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up Pandal and Wakili's here, isn't he?
Wakili's not here.
no.
He didn't come
Oh,
through because
no.
he didn't have a mask.
Mhm.
He pulled off to one side.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He was plot yetied.
Yeah.
He's
Actually, no,
detained
that was
by
something
airport
Effectively.
security.
That wasn't plot yeti. That was something that was going to happen anyway because he couldn't wear a mask.
He's like detained by airport security.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Except
fucking
it's half
racist.
dragon security. It's slightly scarier than the like fat sweaty dude. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up.
Do like
Pandal
I'm
and-
flying Jack, I'm flying pose as he picks me up.
Okay. Question.
I'm gonna shake him.
Yargon.
yes.
In this 4, am I smart enough to figure out that if I stay like this and keep flying, we've got a better chance of reaching that portal?
Probably. That's real simple.
Yeah, you got 80
Okay.
foot flying movement.
I'm
You're
gonna-
pretty fast.
As I fly out, what the hell happens?
Are you carrying someone? You
Nope,
just-
I am not.
Okay, so you abandon Jack and fly past.
I'll
said
pick
giant
up
eagles
Jack.
that
I'll
carry-
pick up Jack
Am I
then.
the
Yeah.
only one standing left there?
Yeah.
That's what you get for trying to leave Mathias behind
So-
you, pray.
Jack, you see, to your right, you see Pandal cast a spell, and then suddenly there's this giant eagle. You have to sort of like shield yourself as it appears next to you, and you're like, the fuck? And then just next to you, on the other side, you just see another giant eagle appears, which just takes off without you, just runs.
Take away with you.
Matthias,
I'll pick up both of them though.
Matthias, you fly out. They are large creatures, are they not?
Yep.
Yeah,
They
Okay.
are.
You fly out. You take up almost the entire space. Akane is almost crushed underneath you as you has to sort of back up into the entranceway, which is only 5 feet wide by 10 feet long. Has to back up as suddenly there's this huge eagle in her face, which I assume you see coming because she's paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and push her into the
Oh my God.
out the cave. I'm gonna try and get out of this cave. As it-
Smell the polymorph. What are you doing?
Okay. I believe it
And
is
I
a.
am about to come out as well
Okay.
with the other two.
Oh God.
As well.
It's concentration up to 1 hour. It can be dispelled by user.
I believe that
Connection.
it's just half movement to get through a space 5 feet
Yeah.
wide for a large
I'm
creature. So,
effectively trying to push Akane in front of me.
Akane, do you go willingly, or are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are sort of slowly pecked and pushed out by what
Not
is
picked, just pushed.
by your master, who is currently a giant eagle, and as he begins sort of squeezing himself through, you can see quite evidently it almost gets stuck a few times as he begins just squeezing past.
Oh,
It's a bit difficult, but you eventually manage to get your way out. And just as you're about like halfway through, you suddenly feel something behind you expand rapidly, pushing you the rest of the way out, as Sauriv appears with 2 people in tow. Are you holding them, or are they on your back, Sauriv?
I will be on Sariv's back because this is how this goes.
Okay.
Let's go on the back.
Okay.
Okay.
I need
I
both
was
of you
gonna
on his
say I'd
back
be holding them, but okay.
to roll a dexterity save.
They
Huzzah!
get launched back in. Oh.
You each take 4 points of damage as you are like crushed against the ceiling. Sauriv appears as a large
That's the most
creature.
4 points of damage I've ever taken.
Caw!
Sauriv, you feel something pressing into your back as you're suddenly like
Caw!
crushed into the ceiling.
Just gonna shake and just probably scrape them against the ceiling a little. Actually,
God.
not on
For additional
purpose.
points of damage.
Oh God! So the pair of you are sort of dragged across the ceiling, still being crushed against it,
Just like a
uncomfortably.
rat smears upon the ceiling.
It'll be a
Like-
fun portal, they said. It'll take you to a fun place, they said.
I mean, to be fair, they didn't say much.
You take an additional 4 points of damage as
no.
you guys are just raked across the ceiling.
Actually, when I hear Pandal speaking, I'm just gonna look back and look in confusion as I see them because I forgot they were there because I was having too much flying.
Like, just get through the exit after the other fat fucking eagle. There's a book to get through.
Sauriv, you realise that you are currently attempting to stand up and stoop down lower, like an eagle's kind of more supposed to, and it's fine. You can sort of like effectively crouch down and stop them bashing their heads, but they are gonna almost have to lie on your back.
Okay, I want to ask something kind of silly.
Oh God.
The kind of doorway / entrance, I can squeeze through there. So if I was to stand up while in the entrance, would they hit their heads?
Yes.
That's more of the halfling and human are crushed.
Pretty much, yeah.
Outpaced.
Yes, they would definitely
okay.
be crushed.
If Pandal was a couple of inches shorter, he wouldn't.
Yeah, he was only 4 inches shorter.
Yeah, I'm going to make them hit their heads against the ceiling.
No.
Are you going to actively crush them or just sort of bash their heads on it?
No, just kind of bash their heads on it.
Okay.
Just
I'm
like
gonna jump
walk
off.
through, pretty much.
Oh, you
I'm
never
gonna
get
jump
flight
off.
again. You are such a dick bird.
So, as you begin walking towards the entrance, Jack sees the inevitable and hops down. Pandal, you feel a smart crack on your head as your mount is attempting to squeeze through and suddenly wriggles up, bashing your head against the ceiling. So,
Shut up, you songbird prick.
I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna
Smug
like
bird.
I'm gonna
roll the
follow
ladder
them
away
out.
like a bird does.
so eventually everyone makes their way outside, some with a little less effort than others.
I'm gonna sit down, like have my wings ready for takeoff, look at Akane, and beckon my beak towards my back.
I'm gonna get on his back.
Okay. Jack, what are you doing?
I check.
I'm gonna get on one of them's back.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll kind of make it easy for him to get on.
sure.
Yeah.
So,
And then Bessie
Then
said
I'm
one less time.
Taking
Come.
off and going for the portal.
and you both take off. You begin flying towards the portal with a flight speed of it's like 80,
actually,
right?
80 feet. Yeah, it's 80
Actually,
feet.
before I take off, I missed a description. I'm terribly sorry about this, but the thing, there was a sword and like stones or something, wasn't there? Or bricks or
Oh
what?
no, it was
I was just like a
landmark
marker on the way.
It was a small piece of cloth that was
And some bricks.
So there
wedged
wasn't a
between-
sword in it.
not a
No,
sword.
it was just a Skyrim
No.
Easter egg I posted.
That's right.
It wasn't a Skyrim Easter egg.
No,
That's
but
just
it
the
was
thing
what,
that's
what
in
I
Skyrim.
posted.
It wasn't, but
What
you
do you
guys
put-
just sort of walked past it, so you don't really know what it was.
Okay. That's
Um,
right.
A road marker for all I care.
Yeah, not enough time now. We gotta go.
Okay, so guys, we
fast.
do 8 miles an hour like this.
Huh.
And that's normal speed, traveling speed. However, I believe we can effectively do a forced flight, like a forced march, and up that speed.
I have no idea, but you will make it at that speed, I do believe, because previously it was 3 miles an hour walking speed, so
Yeah.
Okay.
you're doing more than double,
you
so you
can go-
only need less than half the time. You will make it back. As you approach this, the archway, again, the wind begins seriously hampering you as you arrive. In fact, actually, are you guys you're gonna go up over the treetops, aren't you?
Yeah.
I assume so.
Both you make strength. No, everyone who's on the backs of the eagles make strength saves.
Oh, good.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Oh, good!
Halfling luck. Halfling luck. Fuck you. We rolled a natural one. Don't fuck me, dice. Don't fuck me. There we go. Thank fuck for Pandal.
Oh my god.
We almost had a heart attack.
I'm so disappointed. Yeah,
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
Akane, you feel yourself beginning to slip on, but just about manage to hold on as you guys all manage to just about hold on in the face of the sheer intense wind just battering against you. It's thinner, but it's coming fast. Don't take that out of context. As
Oh yeah, that's going.
Oh yeah.
stop yourselves. As the wind batters against you and you manage to make your way back towards the portal, swooping down the last in front of it, you see the portal. It's shimmering edge still there.
I'll look to check behind me if the others are gonna make it.
They're
Well, I'll land
next to
and
you,
check
basically.
for the others. Okay, then I'll waddle on through, I guess. I'm still an eagle.
I'll try and waddle first, if I can.
You're going to waddle on through the portal.
As an eagle, yes, unless I'm depolymorphed or something.
I'm gonna wait with that.
Okay. So as
Sorry.
he begins to stick his head into the portal, Mathias, you can feel your beak beginning to disintegrate as you step through. You feel it, this intense searing pain on your face as it begins to melt away. And you all see this on the other side. You just see the face beginning to boil away in front of him. And
I just spelled some
hissing and
volleyballs.
swinging all
Put
onto
my
the
mask
ground.
back on.
That's not normal.
Wait,
No,
what?
it's not.
So, wait,
Mathias.
Who through?
You're stepping through, and your face is, as the first part of an eagle to go through, your face is beginning to boil and melt away as if corroded by some kind of acid or melted.
I pull back.
You are going to take
No.
A lot of damage. A lot of damage.
You're welcome for the.
A lot of damage.
Fuck, mate, how much HP does an eagle have?
Like
Not
26.
that much.
Dude!
I think.
Then you reverted back to your normal
No,
form and the damage
seriously. I
goes
need to know
over.
how much damage an eagle can take, because I might go
26.
unconscious right here and right now.
20.
No, that's only
23.
26.
how much health does Mathias have?
Not enough.
0, I'm
Not
assuming.
That much. Yeah, hang on. So
Uh,
85 minus
Is there no safe
26.
no, he
Which
stepped
means-
into
Stuck
it.
his. Yeah.
Like a
I would
con-
take 59
No
to my
save.
physical, which is
Okay.
I would take 59 myself, which is already enough to knock me
29,
the
not
fuck
26. But yes.
Out.
Did
I would-
Mathias get knocked back and
I
then
would
fall
take
back through?
56. Yeah, I'm down unconscious as Mathias.
Okay.
There's no more eagles here.
Okay.
I'm gonna
what-
just touch the portal with my finger.
Yeah. So as your face
Instead
begins
of-
to melt off, you sort of shriek in pain, stepping back away from the portal. Your form reverting, and this sort of acidic burning field continues to cross over your face. And as it does, you can feel the skin and the flesh melt off, and you can all see the bone underneath as his skin and the flesh begins to sear away. Pandal, you step forward and quickly place a healing spell, and the moment you do, the edge of the sort of burning stops and suddenly begins sort of growing back completely.
Wait. Oh, hold
All
on,
of the
hold on.
burning on his face begins to grow back over.
Grows back Mathias' face. He didn't have his fucking mask on, did he?
He didn't.
He took that shit off.
It also does this. Roll. Thank you, roll 20. It does the first one if it rolls twice. It does. Good. Okay.
Oh, good.
So, as
Good.
it does, you begin seeing this intense mist. Cannot be dispelled. Okay, yeah. You begin seeing this really thick, sort of ominous mist begins to boil out of the trees around you, forming on the wind, and then is pretty quickly dispersed by the wind.
I'm gonna just poke the portal. I figure I still have my mask on. See
You-
if,
Yeah. Do you have your mask on?
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't taken it off.
Your hand goes through the portal.
Are you
Um,
joking?
Yeah,
That's
we'll
what the
need the
masks are
masks,
for.
you know.
I'll start putting my mask back on.
I still have
Yep,
the mask
me
on.
too. Yeah, I'm good.
I
I've got
reckon
a mask
the
on.
portal.
And I'm just going to say to Mathias, are you... I don't want to say alright, but...
No!
Okay.
We survive, and we need to get through this portal quite
I'm
close.
walking.
As you guys are
I'm putting my mask
debating
on.
this, you see the portal begin, the light on the outside. At the top, a
That's
gap
like
in the light appears, and it begins slowly descending down the outside.
Okay, we're going. I'm going
That's
through
the
it
last thing
right
I
now.
was saying
Mask
before I
on.
walk through this.
Yeah, I put
Mask
my mask
on
on as
and
well.
going through.
You
Yeah,
walk through.
I'm dragging Sauriv through.
Who is-
Mask or no?
Sauriv, as you've all got your masks on, and Sauriv, as you step forward, you actually feel your head bump against something, and then something that's slowly pushing down next to the light. There's this invisible line where the portal's closing, and as you do, as you
Yeah, I'm
sort of
just
just
gonna
knock
duck
your
down.
head, and you duck down, you pass straight through. None of the rest of you are tall enough to affect you, as you'll quickly pass through. And on the other side, you see similarly the light beginning to shade down. You reach the bottom. Around you, you see all sorts of people taking masks off, conversing. You can hear music coming from somewhere. You see Skandrick has set up a small cart, effectively, with a bunch of barrels on it and like this rack of bottles that is looks weirdly familiar, almost as though it's part of his bar that's on wheels. As he is serving dwarf ale, you see this coin pouch slowly growing by the moment. And there's
As we come through the portal, I want to, like, at the base of the arches to cast Presto and have a bunch of confetti just, like, appear and fly out.
so as you step forward, you see a few people turn towards you. As you do that, make a sleight of hand check.
Oh no, I'm, like, making a flamboyant gesture to be like, we're back!
Oh,
But
okay,
not
you go.
say- Be silent.
Sure. You go, we're back. You just do, and there's sort of this confetti just explodes from the portal behind you, and you see a few people sort of look over confused as it quickly vanishes. You see one or two people just roll their eyes as they clearly people you've seen before just roll their eyes as you recognise you.
I'm just gonna give him the biggest grin. Well, I can't give him a grin because I'm wearing a mask. Fuck.
You are.
Never mind.
You don't see Wakili anywhere. And you also don't see Izo or Aski by the portal anymore.
Achilles doing private stuff with Aski.
Not seeing them around, I'm gonna doff my mask.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also.
I'm gonna take off my mask and head.
How does his face look like right now?
It looks just normal. You can see the sort of red patch of kind of like when you just lightly burn yourself and you get this kind of red patch. It looks a bit like that for his entire face. And you see
There
a
a
few...
handprint of normal skin where I put my hand to heal him.
No, that is the healed bit because it was bone.
Okay. Oh, that's gnarly.
All the flesh and blood and everything was burnt off, and then it came back, and that's just all the healed bit. You can see sort of around the edge, pretty much where the mask would have been, where it is normal. Yeah, sort of a line, and then it becomes normal. And you can see a few people go sort of wince as they see him.
Yeah, he forgot his mask.
Yeah, he did a dum dum.
I was an eagle.
You should have waited for Akane to dispel the spell. All I'm saying is that place is a fucking death trap.
Well, it was fun.
That place looked interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have still been interesting when we'd been there 20 years later because we wouldn't have been able to get out.
Oh yeah, that'd be horrible. Is there a way to keep this stuff open for longer?
Ask the professionals, I have no idea.
I just turned to him. I'm not asking the professionals.
Oh, actually, that's a good shout. I will ask the professionals anonymously on your behalf. I suppose we're not
Don't
leaving.
even
'Cause
ask on my behalf, that's not gonna go well.
why I added the word anonymously as a kind of prefix. You would know that I wasn't going to name drop you.
Just don't mention. Right.
Just checking something.
Just if you ask,
In
don't
bed
mention me at all.
performance.
Stop
Okay.
yourself.
Do you want some medical attention?
Yes, please.
Okay.
You kind of
I
look like you
feel
need
like
it.
I have a migraine on my face.
Okay. I
I've had
think we're
enough
staying the
headaches for
night
today.
today because I'm not going out with you half melted but also kind of fine.
What?
Do you
He
want to go out
looks-
if you've been melted?
What do you
He
mean?
looks
I've
like
been
Court right
melted?
now, like a burn victim.
Oh, that was like your cheekbones, very strong.
What?
Defined.
Ooh,
Burns.
nice
Well,
That's
rolls.
a good roll.
Unfortunately, as you
Actually,
reach
not
out
the best rolls as well.
and you sort of grasp his shoulder or his arm or whatever, and you release the healing energy into him, Mathias, you feel the energy course through, and you feel it drawn towards head and your face. You can feel this sort of faint warmth, and then just as it begins to reach your face, you feel it begin pulling back, drawing into your mind, and vanishing. You don't take any healing.
What the?
Oh. I have any kind of sense that this has happened, or in my opinion, it's like, oh, I've just
Pandal?
healed.
You
That
don't see any
didn't-
physical change, and Mathias, in the back of your head, you hear this slight chuckle. Sort of,
Are you welcome? Yes, I think the red is just kind of a permanent sheen. You'll sleep it off. It'll be fine.
Pandal?
Yeah, that's me. What? I just healed you.
That didn't work.
I just healed you. I thought I did a pretty good job. So, you know, it's fine.
Your buddy, he was healed instead.
Sauriv's fine. He wasn't an idiot.
No, the other one.
Wakili's not even here. I fail to see.
The one you like trading with.
Jack, did I give you something of mine?
No.
Okay.
My patron.
Oh, mind friend. Right.
Mind friend. Mind buddy.
Yes. You're welcome. He's welcome. I don't know. Sleep it off.
He's
Oh,
not
well,
welcome.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
I gave him some
well,
lovely healing. I guess he wanted it or needed it. Good for him. He did me a solid. Don't know what you want me to do about it. I'm not going to go into your head and be like, excuse me, sir. Mathias did just have his face burned off. Like, I can't do anything about it.
I'm not expecting you to, but that doesn't make me feel any less shit right now.
I would heal you, but we have an obvious problem, do we not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Bloody hell.
And we're at the bar drinking, so.
So-
I think we should stay here tonight.
I think so too. How melted did you say I was?
Like, Again,
Very.
very defined cheekbones you have. Lovely.
I'm just gonna touch my face, check what it feels
Yeah,
like.
it kind of hurts.
I'll just wince. Yeah, you see my skull?
Parts of it.
Oh, we could, yeah. It was a bit minging. You should get it cleaned.
It was covered like red stuff. Don't know what that's about.
Blood. That's my flesh. And
Oh,
blood.
that stuff. Got it. Yep. I was tempted to do a whole like, reference on an old play thing, but I didn't feel like it was the time.
Question, Yargon, the fuck's that for?
Because that is mechanically correct currently. You don't know the difference though. In character.
Okay.
Secrets.
So I just changed something on his character sheet.
Oh.
But I think with that is where we're going to call it for our break tonight. Because we've been going for an hour and a half. So we will catch you in the next one. Which should be
Maybe.
linked in the playlist down in the description down below. So we'll be back in a little bit.
Put direct links up, you lazy bastards.
No, that's actually really incredibly difficult to do. Because I don't get the link to the next one until this one's finished uploading.
Can't you edit the description?
I can, but then it's like
He's just lazy.
it bugs out seriously. Also,
No.
shush yourselves. We'll shush.
Be gone, Pop.
Nah.
Anyway, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Pressure him in the
Catchy.
comments.
Yeah, go for it.